Hey, it's Miss Billman, and this is the 4-3 homework. We are in Unit 4. We're going to be talking about prisms, not quite pyramids, not yet, at least. So these ones are going to be a rectangular prism or a polygon as a base. So I'm going to be using different colors to help my thinking. Now this red, I know that it has a base of 8 and a height of 4. I see that in the back that it's telling me, hey, the height's 4. Now, I have this twice because it's the front and the back. When I am just starting something, I like to make sure I label everything, and that's what you'll see me do with the different colors. Now, my next color is yellow. That's going to be my right side and my left side. Now, the base on this one is 6, and I again will multiply that by 4, which is the height. I get 24 for that answer. Remember, area is base multiplied by height, or you might hear length times width. That's what I'm going to be using a lot during this. So better grab another color. This time I'll be doing the top and the bottom. Now the bottom is tricky because you don't see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So when I'm doing the top, I can't really consider the 4. That's not the height. But the top and the bottom will both be 8 multiplied by 6, which is equal to 48. Now that's for the top and the bottom. If you see there's a pattern, each number is being multiplied twice. The 8 and the 4, the 6 and the 4, and the 8 and the 6. So I like to group mine together to make addition easier. So 32 and 32 is 64. 24 and 24 is 48, and 48 and 48 is 96. So now I can go through and add in a super easy way. I add it, so 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18, carry the 1, and I get a final answer of 208 inches squared. When we get to volume, it will be cubed. So here we go, next one. Now, hey, this one looks like a cube. Now, why is it a cube? Because each face is the same, so they're all congruent, and they all have a measure of 12 for the base and the height. So cool part about a cube is that when I find the measurement of one face, I can multiply it by the number of sides, which is 6, and multiply it by the number of sides, and I get the total. Super quick math, right? So for one face, I multiply it 12 by 12. 12 multiplied by 12 is 144. But remember, these have 6 sides. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, kind of like a dice or a die. And I'm going to take that 144 and multiply it by 6. So I get 24, carry the 2, 24 again, plus 2 is a 16, or 26, put down a 6, carry the 2, with a final answer of 864 centimeters squared. Now remember, you can pause the video, go back and watch the video. That will totally help you in the long run. So now we have a triangular prism. Now most of the time you hear me say, they have 6 sides. Well, in this case it does not have 6 sides, because a triangle doesn't have 4 sides. So let's refresh our memories that the area of a triangle is base multiplied by height, and we divide it by 2. So I'm going to make sure I'm attending to precision and I'm finding connections. Now, the 5 is not the base. It's actually 8, which you can see. It's going to be perpendicular to the height. So I do 8 multiplied by 3 and divide that by 2. That's 24 divided by 2, which is 12. So that's like saying the top and the bottom are both 12. Now, I could just detour this by saying I don't need to divide by 2 because I have 2 triangles. But for our sanity, let's just get in the habit for this question of writing each top and bottom out. Now, if I head to the left, and you see that's the green. Now, my 3 really doesn't come into play anymore, but I do know that it has a height of 2 on the side. Those are shared because the bottom is going to be 8 multiplied by 2. So for one side, it is equal to 10, and that's the same for the other side that shares the 5 as a base or a length. Now for the bottom, because I'm imagining this to be, with a rectangular bottom and it going up to a pyramid. So I guess like if it was like an individual pizza slice box, could be something like that. So for the bottom, that's blue. I'm going to be multiplying 8 multiplied by 2. That's 16. My next step is to add it all together. But please note where those connections are between the edges. 2 is a number that gets repeated because of the 5 and the 8 and the 2 that they share. They go together. So I added together. I get 60 inches squared. It could be wrong, but that's just where my thinking was. So question number 4. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many sides there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 sides to this, which makes it easy because I know octagon is 8. Now I have to roll it back mentally to unit 2. In unit 2, we practice finding the area of these shapes. These base multiplied by height divided by 2 to get the area of one triangle. Now inside an octagon, there are multiple triangles. I already know that I have a base of 4 and a distance to center of 5. I divide that by 2, so 20 divided by 2, it equals 10. Inside this problem, it's an octagon on the top and the bottom. So I have 8 triangles, each with an area of 10. It's crazy, but I'm definitely drawing this out here. So I found the area of one triangle, just like I did in unit 2, and now I'm going to multiply it by 8 because that's how many triangles there are inside that octagon. So the base is equal to 10 multiplied by 8, which is 80. Luckily for us, this means that they are congruent, the top and the bottom, and I really only need to do that math once. But it is a lot. And that's when we need to attend to precision and use that skill that I keep talking about in class, that it's going to be a superpower on your side. The next thing we need to do is we need to find the area of one of the panels that holds it up. I think of this kind of like a jewelry box. Now, I outlined it in green, and it has a height of 8, and it has a base of 4 because we use the same base. We use the same base for the triangle. So I get an area of 32 for 1. Because this has 8 sides, I need to multiply that 32 by 8, and I get 256. Now I need to add it all up. 256 plus 80 plus 80, which I put down 6. I add it up, I carry it, and I get an answer of 416 feet squared. Again, you can totally roll back. Watch me do this in depth. But I do suggest making your new superpower attending to precision and slowing down a bit. So this is 5-sided, so it's a pentagon like the government building. So everything I do, I will be multiplying by 5 in this case. So 4 multiplied by 3 divided by 2 is 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So 6 multiplied by 5, since I have 5 sides, is equal to 30. That means my top and my bottom both have an area of 30. And you see me drawing in here the different triangles that make up that shape. So they each have an area of 6 feet squared. So I multiply that by 5 and I get 30. Again, the base 1, or you can call it the top and the bottom, or base 1 and base 2, they have areas of 30 feet. And because they're congruent. Now I'm going to find a different color, and I'm going to outline that I'm looking for the panel. Now I can see very clearly the panel is 3 multiplied by 2. So that also equals 6. Now I know because I have 5 sides, I'm going to have 5 panels that hold it up. So I take that 6, I multiply it by 5, and I get 30. Definitely seeing a pattern here. Time for me to add it all up. This is easy because I know 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 30 is 90. So I get an answer of 90 feet squared. Number 6. This is a hexagon. Whoa, where was I going with that? It's a hexagon. Now it's a hexagon because it has 6 sides. And you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm also drawing in the triangle. So I know, Miss Billman, this is what you're looking for. So I multiply my base and my height, and I divide it by 2. So 5 multiplied by 4, which is my distance to center, and I divide that by 2, and I get 10. So that's saying each triangle inside this shape, which is a hexagon, is going to be 10 inches in area. I could add that up, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I could draw it in here. That works out perfectly as well. I could also multiply, and I could do 10 multiplied by 5 or by 6 because that's how many sides I have, and get a total area of 60 inches for my base 1 or my bottom, and 60 inches for the top or base 2. Now to look for those panels. I'm outlining it in yellow, and I'm noticing that my base is 5 and I know my height is 4. So 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. But I can't stop there. That would only find one part of it. I have 6 sides, so I take that 20, I multiply by 6, and I get 120. Now I need to add them all up together. So that 60 plus 120, that's 0, that's 12, 13, 14, carry the 1, and an answer of 240 inches squared. I will be doing 7 and 8 on a separate video because they're a little bit labor intensive, but you can go ahead and follow me there.